I'm Mallory Glenn, and today I'm going to present on the giant kangaroo rat, or Dipodomys ingens. So it's classified as endangered on the IUCN Red List, and unfortunately it likely won't be removed from the list anytime soon. According to a page on the IUCN Red List website, it was listed as endangered in 1987 and was then critically endangered in both 1996 and 2000. And then ever since then, it's kind of been bouncing back and forth between critically endangered and endangered. The species is endemic to San Joaquin Valley in California. So today I'm going to talk about the giant king rat's taxonomy, appearance, and behavior. I'll also cover the threats of the organism, and will conclude with measures that are being taken to protect the organism. So the taxonomy, it's in Kingdom Animalia, Phylum Craniata, Class Mammalia, Order Rodentia, Family Heteromyidae, and Genus Dipodomys. The Rodentia order is composed of 40% of all mammals. So it's all mammals that have upper and lower parts of ever-growing, rootless, and scissor teeth. So in addition to mice and rats, it's also like porcupines, beavers, squirrels, guinea pigs. And then the genus Dipodomys is all kangaroo rats. So there are other kangaroo rats present on the IUCN Red List, but none of them are endangered or critically endangered like the giant kangaroo rat. So according to NatureServe Explorer and the related page, the Texas kangaroo rat and Fresno kangaroo rat are vulnerable. However, rats such as the Gulf Coast kangaroo rat, which is pictured, it's the one on the bottom, is in the least concern category. So later on we'll kind of look at the different factors that are causing the giant kangaroo rat to be more troubled than its fellow species in the genus. So according to pages on the Wild Screen Archive and Smithsonian Natural Museum of National History, the rat has small short front legs that it uses for digging. They dangle kind of in front of it like a kangaroo, which is part of the reason why it gets its name. And then the hind limbs and tail are used for stability and for it to get around. They also use their tail kind of as protection. They'll use it almost like a weapon. And their tails, their feet are so powerful that it allows them to do up to like 2-meter jumps when they're getting away from predators. And they have sexual dimorphism, which means the male is larger than the female. Or it can be the female is larger than the male, but in this case the male is larger. So on average the male is 157 grams and the female is 150. Their body length is around 31 to 35 centimeters and their tail is from 16 to 20 centimeters. And they're also buff colored, you can kind of see there. It can help them with camouflage, but basically buff just means like yellowish brown. They have white belly and white stripes on their hindquarters, and they also have a tufted tail that is dark with white lines on the side. And then also, like throughout the presentation, I'll use a lot of pictures from archive.org. And although it is copyrighted on the website, it specifies that if you're a student using it for academic purposes or presentation, that you can't use it. So throughout, I'll kind of use those pictures and not really cite them. That's why it's already cited on the picture. So their behavior, according to the Wild Screen Archive and the IUCN Red List, the rat is nocturnal. It hides in burrows during the day and then plugs the burrows with loose soil and then emerges at night. And it does that because it's pretty hot out during the day, so it's able to conserve energy while only going out when it's cooler. In years of good rainfall, the female will give birth to up to 3 litters of 3 to 5 rats, and those individuals will breed when they're about 12 to 13 weeks of age. And they also store their seeds in their burrows, and they dig beneath the sand and the dirt and then kind of hide their food to give them more moisture. They also eat plants like evening primroses, red stem filary, which is shown there, and they also eat shining pepperweed. And they'll occasionally eat insects, but mainly they eat vegetation and the seeds. So like I kind of mentioned, they use their burrows as nesting and as storage for their food. They're also solitary and territorial, so they're the largest of the 20 different types of kangaroo rats, which is why they're called giant kangaroo rats, because they're the biggest. And they're also assertive and manipulative of their territory. And some of their predators are the barn and great horned owls, coyotes, kit foxes, badgers, and rattlesnakes. So they're definitely very important in the food web. As far as their threats, essentially their threats are human activity, and I'll kind of break down specifically what is causing it, but in general human activity is what's causing their decline. So their ongoing decline in habitat, they currently only have 95% of the original habitat area. Oh, sorry, 95% has been lost, they only have 5% left. So one of the biggest things that is causing them to decline is agriculture. So agriculture destroys their burrows. The pesticides will also kill them, and then like the cattle and other animals will eat all their grass and kind of eat their food source. So just like the tilling, tractors, those kind of things will destroy the burrows. There's also fragmentation, which, as we've talked about in class, isolates populations, kind of prohibits gene transfer between any of the populations. And they are endemic to San Joaquin Valley and then parts of Carrizo and Elkhorn Plains and Kettleman Hills. So they have and you can kind of see on the map, they're in a really, really small area, and that's it. They're not anywhere around the globe, they're just right there in California. And according to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, increased off-road vehicle use is also destroying the burrows, as well as road widening projects and just the building of new roads. So this again kind of destroys their habitat and aids in that fragmentation. And lastly, renewable and non-renewable energy efforts are hurting the species. So not only like oil and gas developments, but also solar energy projects, and then construction of transmission lines. And then urban development and infrastructure is also harming them. So the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and IUCN Red List websites also describe some of the protective measures that are being taken. And I put protective in quotes because none of them are really effective at helping the giant kangaroo rat. But they all sound good in theory. So just to break it down a little bit, CSA is similar to the 1973 International Treaty CITES that we talked about in class, just on a smaller scale. So it prohibits the take of state-listed threatened or endangered species. And then CEQA reviews and protects in-state projects, kind of making sure that they're not having too damaging of environmental effects. And then this hasn't been that effective because it's pretty dependent on the lead agency. So, you know, different corporations purposely are less conscientious when they're implementing the act. So it's basically just not strict enough to have any effective change there, at least for the giant kangaroo rat. And then lastly, the Natural Community Conservation Planning Act protects regional habitat and species, and then identifies and provides area for wide protection, while allowing for compatible and appropriate economic use. So kind of similar to Gifford Pinchot, which we mentioned in class, but a little more lenient. So that has not been effective either. And then also extinction vortex is also not helping them. And then one last example of kind of the poorly implemented policies is the Bureau of Land Management Oil and Gas Program. So it basically says that, you know, when you're doing oil and gas projects, we have to leave at least 180 acres for the giant kangaroo rat. However, other developers like roadways, infrastructure, solar fields, all those companies, they can still go in and use that land. So while the solar companies, you know, they may say, oh, we can't use this 180 acres, but then the oil companies are using it. So it's kind of a gap problem there, where there needs to just be more land set aside untouched for the giant kangaroo rat, because they're just losing a lot of their land. And then these are my sources. Does anyone have any questions?
That first reference you have, NatureServe, is a very valuable reference in terms of data for distributions of organisms. They collect data from a wide variety of agencies and create a lot of maps. So that's a really handy tool. Yeah. So for some of you guys still working, you might look there for some additional information. Are there any estimates of the population size now? You may have said that.
I did. I want to say it said that it was around like 1,000 of them.